Alright, welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today we are doing a recoil control guide because recently on some of my videos I've been getting a lot of accusations. One person in particular, I'm not going to tag him to get extra attention, but I actually look forward to seeing his comment. He thinks every time I go like this that I'm cheating. I'm looking at another monitor. Just so you guys know, my right up below my face, you guys see my grapple and my gadgets and everything. Whenever I go like this is the bottom right of my monitor. So I'm looking at the cooldowns there, but it sparked a discussion. Since I have no recoil on my guns, that means that it kind of confirms people's doubts for my cheats. And some people obviously know I'm not cheating, and they want to know how I'm controlling this recoil. I go from here to, after doing that, to getting none at all. And it's really, really simple, right? So if you're just kind of shooting at someone and like adjusting it's got recoil. So there's the recoil. But if you do one trick, one thing in this game specifically, you can have almost none. Especially with this weapon. This weapon's a poor example because the recoil pattern is so easy to control, which is why I use it so much. Even if you're flying through the air, you can make sure you've got none. And some people see that and they go, that's impossible for me. It's got to be cheats. I'm not going to practice. So right now I'm going to teach you how to do this with every single gun in the game. Because previously I was doing it with the FCAR. The FCAR is my previous favorite weapon before this came out. And you can do it with this as well. Get rid of all of the recoil. Recoil on the FCAR is a little bit more unpredictable here. But you can still get rid of almost all of it. It takes me a little bit to go from one gun to another to get rid of some of the recoil because I've memorized the pattern from the one weapon. But as you can see here, it looks like I've got none. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. So, every single weapon, it's called recoil smoothing. You can do this in almost every FPS game. You don't really need to do it. You can do it in Call of Duty, but you don't really need to because they have no recoil over that game. But it's big in the Apex community. And it's just strafing while you're shooting. So I'm gonna show you me holding my controller here. You go like, so I'm pressing in my trigger to aim and then this trigger to shoot, and then while I'm shooting I'm pushing these together, these thumbsticks, right? So I'm going like this, just slightly on my right stick more, but you got to be strafing at the same time. So I'm gonna show you my hand in front of my microphone, so because it's hard to see. So I'm gonna do this while you see my hand, and I'm going to, you see what I'm doing here. This is really hard to do at this angle. But obviously you can see it's the same type of no recoil as before. But see what I'm doing with my left stick? Let me go back to this one. See, no recoil, but it's because I'm strafing. If I'm not strafing, I'm going up and down with it. But if I'm strafing, it's just gone. There's none. See what I'm doing? How I'm like kind of pushing while I'm shooting? You can do this with either way. And I'm pushing this the other direction. Hopefully that makes sense. So you're pushing opposite directions with the thumbsticks. That will take away all of the recoil. So I see this guy, I'm going to strafe left and push right to keep it in the center. Here, let me... Someone also said aim assist plays a big part of this. That is just not true. It does this on keyboard and mouse as well. We're going to go ahead and turn off aim assist to give a better feeling for it, so that I'm not being dragged on this target. What you're doing is you're strafing, but instead of strafing your crosshair off of the person, you are pushing your right stick just enough to keep them in the center of your aiming area, right? So you're still accurate. And you're going like this. See, no aim assist, and it's still no recoil. Even on the moving target, it still makes it a lot easier to hit your shots there. So you're strafing here, and then adjusting to how they're moving ever so slightly the right stick. So you are going in and out, crossing them, but you're using the right stick to track them left and right. So you're not... So the recoil is gone when you strafe left and right. Recoil's... almost gone if you move your right stick at all. So bring them into each other and you go the other way with that right stick. So you're doing micro adjustments with the right stick while you're going. So just make sure you're strafing when you're shooting. It is so much harder if you're standing still. You have to use the full recoil pattern. But if you've got the strafe in with it, it completely smooths out all of the recoil. And this is without aim assist, right? It doesn't matter how far away they are. Maybe a little bit harder, but see how there's still no recoil? And then look, when I do no recoil control and no nothing, my gun is still going up. So it's not like I got a Cronus or some cheat that takes away my recoil. This is 1000% just recoil smoothing. It's something that people seem to not know a whole lot about. I'm getting more and more comments on it. You guys are really impressed with my recoil control and my clips. I really appreciate some of that. And obviously, if you're good at recoil smoothing, it makes aim assist look completely broken because, to be honest, if I'm being brutally honest, it is. But in this game, there's hardly any in it, and so I don't feel too bad about it. But that's how you take would have recoil on almost any weapon. Here, let's go into the heavy. Same thing here. Like almost, forgive my aim, but see how there's no recoil with that? With the Lewis gun? I could even go over here to show you, look. Here, we'll take a look at my hand while I do this. So I'm going to give a fresh take. Look at my thumbs and thumbstick. No recoil control, no hands on the stick. Pretty crazy recoil pattern there, right? But then I come over here and I strafe. I've got none. See, if you strafe at the same time, it takes it away. I didn't turn anything on or turn anything off. You saw my hands. This is just, it's called recoil smoothing. And you still need to pull down a little bit because most recoil is vertical. But if you're pulling like down to the right when you're strafing left, just barely, like a hair down to the right. If you're running high sensitivity, it'll take away that recoil. And it's with every gun. Let's try the AKs. AK does it too. I love the AK. You can even do it with burst weapons, right? Like this, some people don't like the... If I'm strafing while I'm shooting with the FAMAS, it's lethal. Look at that. It doesn't move at all. But if I don't control the recoil, it jumps up. Doesn't matter if I'm spamming it. Like I can spam this and I don't get any recoil. If you spam this without waiting for the reset, you're gonna go up. But if I'm strafing and I spam this as many times as I want, see how I'm not moving? Recoil mitigation. It's called recoil smoothing. A lot in Apex. Let's do some other weapons to give an example. AK's kind of got a different recoil pattern here. I find the AK a little bit harder to control than the FGAR, just because this. But still, same thing here. You can get rid of that recoil pattern doing the exact same thing. Almost no recoil when you do the recoil smoothing. See, I got to get used to the recoil pattern because it's there a little bit, but after I do it, after I get used to it, I know what to do with my thumb. Because each time I'm like either pulling here, or I'm pulling straight to the right, or I'm pulling straight down. So with the AK, I'm pulling in between both of those. I'm pulling down to the left. With the FCAR, I'm pulling down. I'm pulling just to the left while I'm doing the FCAR. And then with the ARN 220, I'm just pulling down a little. Because there's hardly any recoil on this weapon right here. This has been the easiest weapon that I've used to control the recoil on in my history of playing FPS games. I mean, look at that. That's nothing. But then here, I do that same move. I'm going to do that exact same move. Because that looks like zero recoil. People say cheats. But if I do that without doing any of that, like I'm still getting recoil pushing up. But if I do the smoothing while I'm moving, look, literally nothing. Even as I'm walking by. It just doesn't move. It looks like point and shoot, and a lot of these guns are hit scan. So that's how you do that. You need to implement this into all your FPS games. I mean, you're just not missing a shot unless you're inaccurate. It's so valuable. I'm going to quickly run through some of my controller settings, even though I did just post a controller settings video. I run high sense because I have foam on my thumbstick. You see that foam around the thumbstick and the extender. That lets you run high sensitivity. I recommend Control Freaks foam rings. They look like this. You put them around your thumbstick. Black is the hardest. Green, easiest. Purple's in the middle. Start with green, go to purple, go to black once you get used to each of those, and up the sensitivity as you go. That makes 750 sensitivity not feel like 750. It feels like maybe 300. And then it makes you more accurate. Hard to explain, not going into it a whole bunch in this video because we're talking about recoil mitigation, but highly, highly, highly recommend that. That helps a lot with my recoil mitigation. And scope zoom sensitivity multiplier, obviously make it micro adjustments. That helps a lot. But these are my settings. Someone asked what my response curve was. Sinusodial feels the best. Here are my bindings and everything. I'm sure people who watch this are going to be curious about that, but these are my settings. Usually I have, if I'm playing pubs, this is off. If I'm playing ranked, this is on. So depending on where you see my clips, I play pubs with it off, and then I head into ranked with it on, and then it feels broken to me. Because if you play with it on all the time, you forget how crazy that thing is, how aim assist is. There's that. Here, I'll run through my video settings too. And this is what I'm running. Hopefully this helped. It doesn't matter what game you're playing, even in like Marvel Rivals. I know I have a lot of Marvel Rivals subscribers. If you're playing Punisher or something, same thing applies. Make sure recoil smoothing. You'll almost never miss a shot unless someone is really good at movement. So, but there's proof for the one dude that keeps commenting on my stuff. He writes paragraphs saying I'm cheating. So if you're wondering how I'm doing that, that's how I'm doing it. Implement it into your game, and you will no longer shoot like this. You will shoot like this. Hope this helped. Peace.